Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we're talking all about tomatoes. We're going to be planting a tomato right here, and I'm going to be sharing all the tips and tricks for making sure that your tomatoes grow nice and healthy and strong and produce lots of tomatoes for you throughout the season. Now tomatoes love full sun and warm temperatures, so this garden bed here is perfect. It gets sun starting around lunchtime well into the evening hours. While I do have tomatoes planted throughout my garden beds, the tomatoes in this bed really do thrive. These are two 4-foot by 3-foot raised beds. I have them side by side, so it's 8 feet long by 3 feet deep. It's just deep enough that I can reach into the back of the bed to maintain the plants. As you can see, I have 6 spots for tomatoes. 5 tomatoes are planted, and we're going to be planting one today. I have several different varieties of tomatoes planted throughout my entire garden. In this garden bed alone, I have 5 different varieties, and we're going to be planting a 6th variety today. So far we have a subarctic plenty tomato, a sunrise bumblebee tomato, a sweetie tomato, a big beef hybrid tomato, and a red cherry tomato. Today we're going to be planting a giant tomato. This is the tomato we're going to be planting today. It's already quite large, but one of the things to know about tomatoes is that you can plant tomatoes really deep. You want to plant them as deep as possible because wherever soil touches the stem, new roots will grow, making the tomato plant that much stronger. I'm going to dig my hole as deep as possible and plant this tomato as deep as I can so that it'll become strong and sturdy. Now it's going to be a little tricky working around the fact that I already have the cage in here and I have this basil plant here, but we'll do the best that we can. So I'm just going to get in here with my shovel and start digging. We've got to get this hole as deep as possible. Okay, our hole is dug. It's as deep as I can get it. I think that that's going to be pretty deep down into the ground for this tomato. The next thing I'm going to do is add some fertilizer. You want to add any granular fertilizer. This is slow release fertilizer that will feed your plants over time. You want to make sure that the N, P, and K are represented. Anywhere around a 5.55 or close to is pretty good. This is a 3.74. So I'm just going to sprinkle this down into the hole, maybe about 1 to 2 tablespoons. Next is taking the tomato out, so we're just going to remove the tag. We can use him later. We're going to flip this tomato upside down and pop it out of the container. These roots are really good. They're nice and strong. They're not root bound yet or coiled. Let's put him down into the hole. So you can see how deep into the hole I have this tomato plant. Wherever soil touches the stem, new roots will grow, making this tomato really nice and strong. And we're just going to backfill with all the soil we dug out of here. You want to press it down around the plant just a little bit to start. And there we go, our tomato is planted. We're going to add the tag back so we remember what we planted. And it's done. Let's talk about watering. We want to make sure that the tomato stays nice and moist. We don't want the tomato to dry out. If it dries out at all, then the flowers for the tomatoes will dry up and you won't get as many tomatoes. When it comes to the heat of the summer and really warm temperatures, depending on where you're located and what type of garden bed your plant is in, you may be watering every single day. You just need to keep an eye on the temperatures, and a good test to test your soil is to put your finger down into the hole, and if the soil is damp, about 2 inches down, you know your soil is good. But if your soil is dry, you know it's time to water. Tomatoes give off a lot of shallow roots, but they also have deep roots, so you want to make sure that you're doing deep watering at least once a week. You want to keep the top 4 to 6 inches of your soil moist because that's where all the shallow roots are. When it comes to fertilizing, you can use a water-soluble fertilizer about once a month in raised beds. But if you're growing in grow bags like I have here on my deck, you could be fertilizing every week or so because the water drains out more quickly and the soil just uses up the nutrients that much faster. And that's it, our tomato is planted. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you found it helpful and share it with a friend so that they can learn too. I'll see you in the next video. Bye friends!